old. Now
I forgive you.
Josh Napper,
On behalf of me.
on behalf of all of Croatia. Josh Napper, on the other hand, Black Red Zombies. You could call him a zombie vampire list, given his aristocrats and blood-thrown vampires and blood artists. But people have been largely calling this black style of aggro deck zombies, even though these days, sometimes the zombies are actually outnumbered by other kinds of creatures.
Yeah. So we're off, and Jason Bulkowski on the immediately with the Inkmoth Nexus. And a Gravecrawler from Josh Napper. Sorry. Getting a little tongue-tied here. Josh Mulligan to 6. That could be significant.
Interesting note, there is one more non-zombie creature in Josh's deck than zombie.
Ah, very interesting. We'll talk about that maybe in between games. So,
attack for 2, says Gravecrawler.
Ichorclaw Mirror for Jason. Now, we featured Jason twice today. Once he won, and then the second time was when you were on break. It was Glenn and I, and he lost that match, but that was a close one.
Tragic slip. Lots of things can be done to save this guy. Is it going to be a mutagenic growth? Is it going to be mental misstep?
Mental misstep. So,
no slip.
Ichorclaw Mirror appears to have dodged that particular bullet, or banana peel, however you want to look at it.
In looking at the list from, oh, there's the card I was about to mention. Fume Spitter is the hardest card for the Infect deck to deal with.
And there goes the Fume Spitter in action, takes out the Ichorclaw Mirror.
Jason Bulkowski here. Still, lays the Cathedral, activates Inkmoth, comes in for 2 poison.
Cathedral of War and Rancor, both editions from M13, I think really are putting this deck over the top.
I've been really impressed by Cathedral of War. I'm running it in a mono red aggro deck. It's awesome. Diregraph Ghoul. Attacks with Gravecrawler for 2. Another Forest.
There's his Urza's Saga Forest.
Activates Inkmoth.
Inkmoth activated. Rancor coming down here.
+2/+0. In response,
Tragic Slip.
Nah.
And Apostle's Blessing.
Pro Black. In for 4 poison.
Yeah,
one more hit with this combo will kill Josh.
Yeah, Inkmoth Nexus there, a 3/2, getting the Exalted bonus, knocking Josh Napper up to 6 poison.
Yep.
And
in for 4.
Meantime, the zombies going aggro on Jason's life total. So, Jason down to 12 here.
Another Gravecrawler. Another land for Jason Bulkowski. One more in hand.
Yeah, that's a lot more lands than I think he really would want here, but he's got a plan, and he's going to try to make Josh answer it. So, excuse me, Inkmoth Nexus activated, Rancor
That's
on
it.
there, and there it is, there, exactly as you said. You know, one more hit from that combo, and we're going to game 2, and that's exactly what happened.
Now, Josh Napper had to go for the throat in hand, but that go for the throat well. Inkmoth Nexus has no throat. Now, while these players sideboard, we're going to see if we can get any other winners out there in the universe, the Twitterverse, internets, all of that, to have a chance to win as well. And what will you be winning?
3 months of StarCityGames.com premium access.
Right.
So, today's August, 25th? See, make sure I didn't put my watch on upside down. I never look at my watch anymore to find out the time.
How does this work? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to answer a trivia question that we give to you, and use the hashtag in your answer, hashtag SCG Premium. If you use this hashtag and you have the correct answer, one lucky person amongst all of you out there who use that hashtag, have the correct answer to this trivia question that Joey has come up with, will get 3 free months of Star City Games Premium. You saw Patrick Chapin here earlier today. If you've been watching all day, you're going to be able to see as many articles from Patrick as you want over the next 3 months for free. Yep. Not to mention the numerous other authors that you get on the premium side.
Reed Duke, Mike Flores, Brad Nelson, Brian Kibler, just all kinds of all. Oh wait, Adrian Sullivan.
How's it going?
You write for Stars?
I do.
So what I was saying was it's August 25th. So 3 months from now, right? It's November 25th.
That'll take you clear into Thanksgiving.
All the way to Thanksgiving, deep into the Return to Ravnica standard format.
Right.
So,
who knows what'll be happening by then?
Yeah.
You should find out what all the people that are writing about it and taking their time to do so think.
Yeah.
So what's your trivia question?
So I figured start off with a fairly simple one. Very easy to find this answer if you are resourceful.
Right.
So, today we're in Denver. Last week there wasn't an open series.
Right.
So the week before that we were in Kansas City.
Right.
Who won the Standard Open in Kansas City?
Seems pretty easy.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Who won the Standard Open in Kansas City 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Tweet your answers. Hashtag SCG Premium. Yep. One lucky person out there who gets the correct answer to Joey's trivia question will win 3 free months of Star City Games Premium. Now, looking at these other players that are in the middle of this quarterfinal match, we were just watching Josh Napper and Jason Bulkowski. Bulkowski took down the first game pretty strong
Very quickly, yeah.
Yeah, and they're sideboarding right now. My expectation, I expect to see Spellskite come in from the board for him.
Yeah, he knows that Josh is just going to, load up on the removal.
Yeah. Now, one thing to remember, these players get access to each other's deck lists. So they know exactly what they have. I also might think that one Viridian Corruptor will be sideboarded in by Jason as a means to kill mostly Phyrexian Metamorph.
So how many missteps are available? Does he just plays 4
He plays
main?
all
okay.
4.
I think that's great. I was checking because I thought if he has more on the board, bring him in, but can't. No more room.
Now, on the other side of the table, Josh Napper, I have to say, normally I'm not a fan of making a zombie deck into a control deck, but you know what? In this match, he is slower than Jason Bulkowski. I think he should bring in Smelts. I think he should bring in Geth's Verdict. I think he should bring in Bonfire. Do all of those things in order to try to basically click away at every reasonable creature that he can get an opportunity to hit.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got quite the crew there. That's 6 cards he can bring in. 2 Smelt, 2 Geth's Verdict, 2 Bonfire. And he's got 2 copies of Vile Rebirth. Not, I don't think, particularly
I don't think that's
great for
actually,
this.
The thing about it, it just does not do enough. A surprise blocker, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the best he can hope for. So I don't know that that's worth it.
I don't think it is.
He's got a 3 Sword of War and Peace, not really for this matchup, so unlikely to come in. And he's got Knight of Infamy, which is the new...
that's the Exalted Pro-White Knight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the new M13 guy. Yeah, M13 White Knight. I'm sorry, Black Knight. He's pro-white. That's what I meant. So that not coming in here either. So 6 cards for him to bring in. What do we take out? Do you think he? See, it's weird. Like the go for the throats, obviously completely irrelevant against the Inkmoth Nexuses.
But they do kill Glistener Elf.
Yeah, they kill Glistener Elf and they kill Blight Mamba. Maybe,
Here's what I think. I think you have to do this. You have to take out a lot of the cards like Blood Artist that normally you're really happy to run. The 4 Blood Artists, kick them to the curb. Get them out of there. Your Falconroth Aristocrat, just get it out of there. It's just too slow.
Okay.
And bring in your other cards. You've got 2 Smelt, 2 Verdict, 2 Bonfire. That's 6 cards. You're good to go.
Yeah, you can keep an Aristocrat in there if you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't want more than 1. On the other world...
on the other world?
of the Infect player, this becomes a harder question. I might consider dropping Titanic Growth out because it's so expensive. And I might consider shaving down a mental misstep since I'm putting in the spell skites, but that could be crazy talk. Maybe just keep all 4 and bring in the skites.
Feels like misstep is so good.
Misstep is so good, but that 2 life matters as well. And this is a matchup where that 2 life can be punished. You can be punished for it.
The other thing about misstep I think about is you've got actual threats in the other deck that you can stop with misstep as well. Now I don't know that that's the sort of strategy that Jason would take here. He probably wants the missteps more to protect his guys, but it can counter a Diregraph Ghoul. It can counter a Fume Spitter, which, as we mentioned, is a problematic creature. So I think the missteps are worth keeping in.
Oh, I'm not saying they would go out necessarily. But I think you might consider shaving. But
okay.
Regardless, we're going to see. Also, besides these matchups, for those of you who are friends with any of the other players or curious, in one of the Delver mirrors, Andrew Olschwager has won the first game.
I was like, wow, 10 minutes.
First game of the Delver mirror. So that's our first game in. Andrew, first person to get a game win here besides Jason. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Joey Pasco. We're here in Denver for the Star City Games Open Series. This is SCG Live, and it's Infect versus Black Red Zombies playing for tomorrow for not day 2, for the top 4 in the second day of our coverage.
Yeah. Jason Bulkowski up a game versus those zombies. Infect, I mean, we said it before the day started. We thought it might be the time to be playing Infect right now. I think as soon as people start taking it seriously, it's funny. It's like the phantasmal image of decks, right? As soon as somebody looks at it, I think it's as soon as people start paying attention to it, I think it's really not that strong of a deck,
Diregraph
it's pretty
versus
fragile.
Forest.
But for now, while people aren't taking it too seriously, that's the Night of Infamy. He went ahead and brought those in. That's interesting. I didn't think he'd bring them in. It's Exalted and pro-white. But I guess the Exalted, every bit of damage helps.
I actually think he might board out Gravecrawler because it can't block, and you need to block a lot in this match.
That's a very good point.
Necropede from the sideboard for Jason Bulkowski. Wow, that's actually really impressive in this game.
Yeah, 1/1 for 2, and when it's put into the graveyard, -1/-1 counter on target creature. Kind of a Fume Spitter-esque effect there.
A potential 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Jason currently at 17. Puts him down to 13.
Yeah, shouldn't he be at 13? Diregraph Ghoul attacked for 3 last turn, and then he just got hit for 4 here.
Fume Spitter being cast.
Exalted is what we're getting just a life total correction or clarification
Wow,
here.
look at this. He is just unloading. There's a Gravecrawler.
Whoa, yeah. Gravecrawler and Fume Spitter.
So he did not board out Gravecrawlers.
There's a Cathedral of War, and he is indeed at 13. There's the clarification/correction. So, swarm of zombies, and a knight, and a horror. So I guess it's not much of a swarm of zombies, is it?
Like I said, there are 13 non-zombies in the main deck, and then 12 zombies. After sideboard, there's potentially 17 non-zombies. Much like the name Affinity, I think the name Zombies for this list is actually just a relic.
Sure. I mean, zombies obviously the most common creature type.
And we get a Glistener Elf.
Off of a Green Sun Zenith from Jason Bulkowski.
It's a Diregraph Ghoul, a Knight of Infamy, Gravecrawler, and Fume Spitter.
Josh Napper swarming the board here. And
2 poison for Josh Napper currently.
yeah, I was gonna say, where's the poison count here? It should be should have taken something from that Necropede. There it is. Shoebox. All right, so some pondering happening here. And Josh, let's see, does he fear the Reaper here? And by Reaper, I mean Listener Elf and Necropede sitting on the other side of the table.
The Fume Spitter gives him a lot to work with there. Just that extra little bit of safety.
Yeah, it can represent like a block and then a sacrifice to kill something. So wouldn't kill what it blocks unless he decides he wants it to, but yeah, so he keeps the Fume Spitter back, attempts to get in with everybody else, and everybody else appears to be getting in, so that's 2, 4, 6.
Jason Bulkowski drops to 7 life.
Now what do we have? We've got another Night of Infamy for Josh Napper. And Jason Bulkowski draws, I believe, a Forest, plays the Forest. He has Apostle's Blessing. He can give something pro-black, but that just ends up with a Fume Spitter in response, taking out whatever it was he was trying to protect. Now, does he have something like Mutagenic Growth or something to pump a creature?
About to find out.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3,
Wild
here comes
Defiance,
a Wild
maybe?
Defiance. Okay. So here, I'm thinking, all right, he plays Wild Defiance, then he can target his guy with a with an Apostle's Blessing.
Okay, here's something that can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Declare the attack. Come in with one of the guys. The Fume Spitter can try to target in response. In response, Apostle's Blessing black, and if he has a Mutagenic Growth, he wins.
Wait, but where you mean all this before declare blockers?
No, because it's before declare blockers, but after the attack is declared.
Okay, so it looks like maybe in response to the Wild Defiance, Josh Napper is going ahead with the Fume Spitter.
I think so.
Yeah. But
I think that's going to be fine.
yeah, I actually think that's fine too. So Josh Napper at 2 poison. We need to deal 8 here if we're Jason. So Necropede plus the Apostle's Blessing is 4. Right?
No, it's 5 because of the
Cathedral.
Yeah. Yeah, this is still in response to the Wild
Defiance, right. What does he have? He's got Apostle's Blessing, he's got Mental Misstep, not helpful here, not able to target his guy. I don't know what else he has. Does he have double Apostle's Blessing? Is that what that is? I'm having trouble telling. So, okay, Glistener Elf goes away.
Works. Wild Defiance resolves.
I believe he may have double Blessing, which could be... Well,
it says pass. He does not have the kill.
If he has double Blessing...
He doesn't have the mana.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah. I keep thinking of Blessing as just Phyrexian, not like a 1 and a Phyrexian white.
An interesting position here. Josh Napper. Yeah,
it is 2 blessings, and wow, so close.
He was actually just a touch away from being able to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, if he had 1 more mana, he can blessing pro black. That gives the Necropede +6/+6, so it's a 7/7. He attacks exalted 8 poison.
Yep.
No blocks, and that's it. So he was just 1 mana short there.
And to be fair, Josh Napper's draw, incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, that was... So Jason was that close against that sort of draw from Josh Napper.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. So we're not even 20 minutes into the quarterfinals, and here we are going into game 3. Game 1 went by in I think 5 minutes. Actually, less than 4 minutes, I think. So, very quick kill.
For those of you who are just joining us, we are about to begin Game 3 of the first quarterfinal match of this top 8 here at the Star City Games Open Series in Denver, Colorado. I'm Adrian Sullivan, here with Joey Pasco, and we're watching Green Infect versus Black Red Zombies.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here at Jason's board to see if there's... I mean, we know he brought in the Necropede, at least one. I would assume he brought in both.
I still like bringing in Spellskite. I've played against this matchup a fair amount. Spellskite does a lot. It does the double duty of blocking their attackers and protecting your creatures from their copious removal.
Yeah, he may very well have brought in the Spellskite and just not seen it. He's got 3 in the board. None main deck, of course. Yeah, it's really, the Necropedes, the Spellskites. I don't think he wants some Dismembers. There's nothing really that big that he needs to dismember. Not worth it. He's got that additional Zenith as a potential, just one more threat, quote-unquote threat, I guess. But I am impressed with this Infect deck.
It's really scary, particularly if you don't know just how damaging it can be. I mean, if you're not aware of what danger you can be under, you'll just die, and you don't even realize it was there. Yeah,
you really need to respect Infect, and I think, the times we've seen it, even when Jason's won games, like, his opponents, I think, did respect it, but just didn't have enough.
Yeah.
The deck is strong enough to withstand a bit of opposition. One card that I was pretty scared of when I was playing against Infect pre-M13 was Livewire Lash. But that's been cut from the list in favor of a lot more cheap spells.
Yeah, I think Wild Defiance
Wild
and
Defiance
Rancor,
a little more expensive.
the combination of those 2 cards being in the deck, I think, has taken the place of the space that Livewire Lash used to be in.
The Livewire Lash only costs 2, but then costs 2 to equip. And yeah, I mean, it's such a great way to go over the top, like the Livewire Lash, because you don't even have to attack.
I used to board it, and then I basically very much just conformed almost entirely to the list that Meretic and Sukik played at the World Cup.
I don't know, Livewire Lash sort of scares me even more because, like, I don't know, I understand this is probably a more streamlined list, but maybe even as a one of, like maybe you don't play 4 Wild Defiance, maybe you play 3 and a Livewire Lash. I don't know, because it just the ability to not have to attack and just go Blessing, whatever, all these same pump spells, Blessing, I can gut shot my guy, whatever, whatever I need to do. It's dealing 2 damage to target creature or player, and obviously you just deal 2 damage to your opponent with every spell. You're just basically hitting them with 2 poison for every spell.
Every spell becomes a Fire Blast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, you're right. Every spell becomes a Fire Blast, and it's even worse when the spells actually cost 0 mana and don't require you to sacrifice 2 mountains. So, I don't know. I think Livewire Lash is still worth some worthy of consideration. Also, it's another angle, and it forces your opponents to go, well, do I have to fight against this too now? It's just another angle. Like, I need to have in artifact removal to deal with Livewire Lash. Not that artifact removal is dead in the matchup, but all right, we've begun, and there's Inkmoth Nexus.
Jason starts with what Sukik called the best creature in the deck, Inkmoth Nexus.
Josh mulls to 6.
Turn 2, attack for 1 with the Inkmoth.
I like it.
Josh Napper lays a second land. Diregraph Ghoul.
So, sort of a slow start for Josh. But
Jason's not running out of the gates either, though.
That's true. And Josh may just be leaving that mana open for a tragic slip.
I think we're going to see Inkmoth Wild Defiance, unless I might be getting the art wrong, so. Oh, Forest. Inkmoth, okay. Rancor.
And there's a tragic slip.
I think there's going to be some response.
Misstep. So here comes
3 more poison to go to 4 poison.
I thought I saw, yeah, Jason may have a Cathedral of War in hand, but he needed the mana.
And for those of you who are Andrew Olschlager fans, you can rejoice. He has 1-2-0. And the other Delvermere is also in Game 3. Okay, we see the Knight of Infamy hit. And looks like there's going to be a gut shot in response to the declaration of attack, so only 2 damage from the Diregraph Ghoul instead of 3, for a net loss of 1 this turn compared to over what it would have been, but still better overall.
Jason Bulkowski with another farce. There's a Cathedral. I thought I saw that in his hand.
Yep.
So this, here comes again Inkmoth, enchanted with the Rancor.
In
and
for
this
4
is going to be
poison this
4
time.
poison, not
Mutagenic
Josh.
Growth is the kill.
Yeah,
Nope,
it's
he
4. He
steps right there.
doesn't have the pump there.
He does not even have to cast the Rancor next turn to get the kill.
No, he just needs to get in with the Nexus. He's got Josh Napper up to 8 poison. And just 2 away from taking this the match, winning the quarterfinals, and setting his alarm for pretty early up tomorrow morning so he can play in the semis. But we'll see if Josh Napper has anything to say about that.
In the other bracket, Michael Lee has defeated Matt Pitzer with Black Market 2-0. So Michael Lee with green-white aggro advances.
Wow, that is not something we expected. Not only did, not to say that I expected it to not win, I expected it to not finish yet. I'm sitting here thinking we're going to go to that match next.
That's a Spellskite. Awesome. Wow, this is an amazing draw here. It lets him definitively protect his creature from anything that that Josh can do. He has won the game right now.
There's a Spellskite.
That's it. That is absolutely it.
Should be it, yeah, because Spellskite resolves, yes. Activate Inkmoth. Good.
In for the kill.
Swing. And there it is.
Go.
Jason Bulkowski takes down Josh Napper 2-1 with Infect over black-red zombies. And so Jason Bulkowski headed to the semifinals.